What's going on, guys? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today I'm checking out the Boker Plus USB OTF. This is a collaboration between Boker and CobraTec, who's known for kind of out the front knives, obviously automatics, and this runs only 64 bucks, which it's made in the USA, so it feels like a pretty great deal for only 64 bucks, and compared to some other OTF knife companies, obviously a huge steal compared to those. This is my first OTF knife, so not sure really how it compares to the other ones, but that are 3, 4, 5 times the price. But it's been really reliable for me. I've been pretty pleased with it. No complaints so far. I definitely do plan on checking out at least an axial OTF at some point. Not so sure about Microtech. I wouldn't be surprised if I do that as well. But at least an axial. And so I have it on the table here with a couple of USB flash drives, mainly to just show that it is passable as a USB flash drive. It's not going to hold up under heavy scrutiny, obviously, but kind of sitting here next to these other flash drives, it's slightly longer, but I'm sure you can find flash drives that are just as long. And so I have a few different kinds of flash drives here. So this Lexar, which has a similar kind of form factor, keychain at the end, just kind of intended to be carried the same way, and definitely doesn't. The Boker is much sleeker than it, but similar designs. And then as far as like sleek kind of minimalist design, I have this Kingston on the table. So obviously, again, the purple is super bright and kind of attention grabbing, but at a glance, they're both pretty like minimal designs, and this does come in a black colorway. SMKW actually has a blacked out version that's exclusive to them. So those will look a little bit more similar, but again, flash drives come in many different colors, so I'm sure you can find something similar to this in a purple color. And then lastly, just another Lexar. This one I put in there because it's kind of got that slide out the front, so similar type of switch deal. Just to show kind of, it is a pretty believable design as far as USB goes. Again, a little bit nicer than those, but I'm sure there's nicer USB drives out there. Most of the ones I have are pretty minimalist, just for storage, not really going for looks. But again, I'm sure you can pay a little bit of a premium and find some nicer designs out there that look a little bit more like this. So this is, again, OTF, made by CobraTec. So Boker has like the design, I guess, of the knife and the logo, and it's branded Boker, but CobraTec's actually the one making it. It has a D2 drop point blade in here and a dual action switch here, so the same switch is going to deploy and retract it. And so you do have to put a decent amount of pressure behind here to actually deploy it. You're not going to accidentally deploy this. You have to push it all the way forward to get it to come out, and it shoots out very, very quickly. So again, D2 drop point blade, 1.75 inches, 0.09 inches thick, so smaller blade, but definitely usable. I did cut through some cardboard just to make sure that that doesn't push it off of its track, and it had no problem with that. Not a ton, obviously, just kind of a few test cuts, but definitely did not push it off its track or cause it to fail after using it. Handle is 2.75 inches, 0.34 inches thick, and bringing the overall length to 4.5 inches. Weighs in at 1.2 ounces, and relatively lightweight. So this is an aluminum handle, so aluminum's obviously not super heavy. Not a lot of kind of grippiness on this. It can be kind of slick, but again, you're going to be using this for light use stuff, so not the biggest deal. Also, no pocket clip, which I think they probably went that route just to kind of keep that USB theme going. You don't see many USBs with pocket clips, although maybe that would make sense, but you don't see many with pocket clips, so they opted to do the lanyard hole / keychain opening, which again, pretty believable design as far as USBs go. In terms of the switch, it seems to be really, really reliable. Again, budget knife, 64 bucks. Well, budget for an OTF at least, 64 bucks, and super reliable. I haven't had any failures in normal use. I have had 2 failures. The first one being, I was at the gas station wearing some dress pants, didn't have a 5th pocket where I would probably normally carry this, and so it was just sitting in with my cell phone, pumping gas, and pulled my cell phone out, and this came out with it, landed under my car, and the blade did deploy about halfway. So I wasn't really sure what to do, honestly. This is my first OTF. I was assuming I'd probably have to disassemble it and put it back on the track, but actually I just kind of tilted it backwards. Once the blade went in, it landed back on the switch, deployed right away, just normal, and no issues since. And then before doing the review, I wanted to just kind of fill it again just to see if that's like a consistent way of fixing it. And so shot it into some cardboard to get it to fill, which did work. And it did not go back on so easily. So I tilted it backwards, flipped the switch, and nothing happened. I think the difference between the first time and the second time is the first time when it dropped, it was still in the interior was probably still in the retracted mode, but when I shot it into the cardboard, it was in the deployed mode. And so tilting it back in and trying to deploy it again didn't do anything because the track was up here and the blade was down here. And so eventually what I did was I just pushed the switch forward like it is now and pulled the blade all the way out and then retracted it, and it's been fine ever since. Even knocking it off the track, it doesn't seem like it's kind of loosened it or made it less reliable. I haven't had a single failure since, and I've definitely done it 50 to 75 times since then. Obviously I haven't been keeping track, but just in this video alone, I've probably flipped it 15, 20 times. So have had no failures whatsoever just through normal use, so pretty pleased with that. Also, it seemed to hold up pretty well to the fall. It was kind of bouncing around on cement and no scratches or dings. I'm sure this will get kind of worn out eventually, but so far so good. It's been banging around with my keys, it's fallen on the cement. I've fidgeted with it quite a bit and see no signs of wear so far. So I was pretty happy with this as my first OTF. Definitely think it will pass kind of just the eye test. Like on a keychain, if you have this sitting there, no one's going to give it a second glance really. It doesn't look like a knife. Maybe they don't assume it's a USB flash drive, but they probably also don't assume it's a knife. It doesn't have any obvious places where it would flip open, where you can see the blade. It's not visible. The only thing here is this slot, and again, they're probably thinking something other than a knife just because that's not really your first thought when you see something like this. So I do think it passed the eye test. Again, if someone's handling it, they're not going to mistake it for USB. It's significantly heavier. Obviously, as soon as you mess with the switch even a little bit, it's going to fly out and people are going to know exactly what it is. But I do think this was a cool idea from Boker or CobraTec, whoever came up with it. I'm assuming Boker went to CobraTec with the idea, and CobraTec implemented the internals with Boker designing the externals. But obviously don't know that. But super cool design, pretty cool little knife. Definitely interested in checking out a few more OTFs after this. I don't know that they're like the most heavy used knives just because I've heard that kind of that internal mechanism can be a little bit sensitive and you can have issues after a while. So we'll see how it goes, but definitely interested in checking that out. There's also a little bit of blade play, which is very normal for these OTF knives. I don't think it's avoidable just by how they work. Obviously, they're going to have a little bit of play. But super cool little knife. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this knife, or if there's other OTF knives you'd recommend me checking out. Keeping in mind that I am in California, so limited to 2-inch blades and under, unfortunately. So that obviously limits a lot of the options, but most people who are making OTFs, besides, companies that make 1 or 2, but if there's companies that are making several models of OTFs, they usually have a California compliant model out there. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always, hope you have a great one. Take care.